Going to be discussing social welfare policy in the 19th century. All right, so people around this time really were looking into expanding west. So they settled to places like California, Nebraska, and Texas. Um, Immigrants also were coming to America at this time. They were coming in large groups, they were coming in big families, which furthered the need to form social welfare policies later in this time. America at this time had a very bad banking system in an agricultural society. America had terrible street crimes. People were doing things like drinking, gambling, begging, participating in prostitution um, because of the widespread unemployment and recession. The government made three different types of social policies. We have temperance, which is based off of moral treatment for sins like alcoholism and neglect of religion. Next, we have anti-pauperism strategies, which basically wanted to give Americans rights like voting and education. Next, we have opportunity enhancing, which unfortunately oppressed people of color to open up jobs for white people. But on the positive note, it also extended education to some women. Fortunately, many Americans view these policies as a threat to social order. Services were often harsh and controlling. People thought their freedom was being compromised, especially immigrants and non whites. As far as land policies go, people who spoke Spanish were being oppressed, while white Americans were conquering land. The 19th century American government owned unsettled, or they thought they owned unsettled land. So basically, what they did was they took the land and then they bid it and gave it off to the highest bidder. All right. Okay. So lastly, we're going to review the frontier life. People who settled in the frontier believed that we should have limited government. So it was hard to make legislation and control people who were trying to settle out west. In turn, Latino and Asian laborers were being treated terribly. The frontier perpetuated and intensified racism. White Americans who were going out west were fashioning policies that protected their own rights and their own profit rather than helping the poor. Um, Slaves who were freed had very little protection from legislation. There were no regulations of brutality on freed slaves and other people of color. Um, Positively, though, women were for abolition and for the fair treatment of freed slaves. And that's good because women were a huge part of the American population, white or non white. Okay, so that just about covers it. Thank you guys for listening, and bye.